Okay, hello YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm using some old slides here because my camera's not working right, so I'm just going to record the audio. For the past week or so, I've been surfing around YouTube, watching and commenting on various videos, and occasionally getting into debates with other users. I've had several discussions on a few different videos on the issue of civil rights, specifically as they apply to homosexuals. I've started to notice that I'm beginning to make the same points almost verbatim over and over again to many different people on many different videos, so I just figured I should make my own video on the subject. I'm going to talk about what I personally believe, but first I'd like to refute some of the arguments I've encountered. These arguments are not intended to be straw men. They're all points I've seen made on various videos and comment sections, or just in the general public. Okay, the first argument I hear a lot is that homosexuality is a perversion of nature because it goes against evolutionary laws of natural selection, i.e., because only a woman and a man can produce a child, homosexuality can't be a natural part of humanity. First off, homosexuality has been observed in over 450 animal species, from every animal group, so if it's an unnatural perversion for humans, it is exclusively so. But aside from that, the evolutionary laws of natural selection no longer really apply to humans in the historical age. Or rather, the rules apply, but the conditions for survival have changed. Setting aside homosexuality for a moment, let's look at another group that may not have survived the prehistoric age of survival of the fittest: bald Caucasians. Now, I use the term Caucasian not in reference to race, as I tend to follow the Stringer-Andrews out of Africa model on race, but rather in reference to those humans that developed in the regions of Northern Europe and Northern Asia, where conditions were very cold. Hair loss, as you may know, is a hereditary condition, though it's known to skip generations. Bald men or women may not have survived the evolutionary process due to consistent and eventually fatal loss of heat from the head. This eventuality was ultimately averted, however, due to human ingenuity, namely head covering, and the inception of societal structure, where we generally provide for the survival of individuals. So the conditions for natural selection changed. Likewise, though natural selection evolutionary laws may have wiped out such evolutionary anomalies as homosexuality in prehistory, the inception of societal structure changed the conditions. Homosexuality is therefore, under the premise of this argument, no more a perversion of nature than hereditary baldness. I use baldness as one of many examples of biological traits that may not have survived evolution were it not for societal structure and human ingenuity. To argue that humans exhibiting these traits are perversions of nature descends the discussion into a kind of Blavatskyan eugenics that has no place in American civil law. Some would argue that homosexuality exists today due to our liberal culture, or the absence of moral structure in it, allowing for its existence. But homosexuality has existed throughout human history, and is therefore a natural occurrence in human existence, not a conditioned response to societal norms. It has been documented in various forms and practices in Africa, Southeast Asia, the Native Americas, North and South, the South Pacific, the Middle East, and all over Europe throughout recorded history. It's mentioned in the Bible, which means it existed in biblical times, and can be traced back even further to ancient Greece. The variations between modern American culture and societal norms and those of, say, 2000 BC Mesopotamia, or Native American tribal culture, or African pre-slavery society, and so on, are so vast and innumerable that it cannot be said that some common cultural theme exists throughout all cultures, in all time periods, throughout recorded history, that somehow facilitates the creation of homosexuals. Homosexuality itself is the common theme. And it's also erroneous to argue that homosexuality has been condemned by all societies throughout history. Many societies held homosexuals in high esteem, as shaman and clerics, and in some cultures homosexual marriage was not only condoned, it was hailed as a holy endeavor. Native American and African tribes are two examples of this that you can research further if you wish. It's been said by people like Cal Thomas and Alan Keyes that homosexuality is the result of a lack of self-discipline, but this is a self-defeating argument because it implies an initial attraction that must be controlled. If you have to exert self-discipline to restrain your attraction to the same sex, you're gay. That's what being gay is. These men don't seem to realize that heterosexuals have no attraction to begin with, and in most cases are, in fact, generally repulsed by the thought of it. This idea that homosexuality is a choice one makes implies that the choice could go either way. It is therefore incumbent upon those who believe gay people choose to be so, to recall for all of us the morning you woke up and made the conscious decision to, from that day forth, be naturally attracted to the opposite sex. I never made that decision. I was attracted to women before I knew what attraction was. And most homosexuals will tell you the same thing.